Hi everyone, I'm Suma. So my project is about decision analysis in the Big Bash League. The main goal of this project in simple terms is I've tried to find out how much a cricket team's chance of winning depend on things that happen before the match starts, like who wins the toss, whether they are playing at home, and how well they have been performing recently. So the idea is to predict the likely winner even before the first ball is bowled. So my work here focuses on only pre-match data, pre-game data, and so there is no live score or player stats used during the game. So as we all know, cricket match can be influenced by many things: the pitch, the venue, the toss, and the current form of the team. So many studies on cricket prediction focus only on in-game statistics like runs, wickets, and partnerships, but those aren't known before the match starts. So in this project, I decided to test whether we can still find meaningful insights using only pre-match information. So this helps separate what is luck, such as the toss, from what is skilled and consistency, like a team's performance. So next, what are we trying to find out? Here we are trying to find out there are three main things which we are trying to find out, which is like, does winning the toss really increase the chance of winning, or is there a strong home ground advantage in the Big Bash League, and how much does a team's recent form, the last few match results, matter? So the goal was to build a simple and transparent statistic model so that can answer these questions clearly, just not just throw out a black box prediction. Okay, so um, we collected this data from crickshade.org, which provides free ball by ball research records of all the BBL matches. So I downloaded 618 JSON files covering Big Bash League games from 2011 to 2015. And after cleaning the data, removing matches that are tied and rained out or missing some information or cancelled because of weather. So I was after removing all that, I was left with 604 valid matches. So from these files, I extracted key details such as the teams, venue, toss result, toss decision, and who won the match. So this became my main data set for the analysis. So next, there are some I consider a little bit more pre-game predictors, like ace home, um, which meant whether the team is playing at home, toss one, which is whether the team won the toss, and the next one is team bats first, which means if the team started batting first, and the toss one bat first, which means whether they won the toss and chose to bat. And the next one, form rate, which is how many of the last games they won. And the form difference is the difference between just the they form and the opponent's form, because we just need to know the difference between their forms, so that I thought it's important. So, and home toss one. So this is about if the home team won the toss, and the next one is home toss bat first, which means if the home team both won the toss and batted first. And the last one is home interacted with toss one, which means this is an interaction term to see if home advantage and toss combined have a special effect. So these are all completely pre-game factors. Nothing depends on what happens once the match starts. So the next one is, how did I approach? The modeling approach is just simple logistic regression. So I use the logistic regression model, which is a standard method for predicting probabilities, and in this case the probability of a team wins. So since every match has two teams, my dataset has two rows per match, one for each side, to make sure that this didn't bias the results. I used a cluster robust standard errors group by match ID. So that's a statistical way of saying that the model accounts for the fact that both teams share the same match conditions. So the model output include coefficients, p-values, odd ratios, and confidence intervals, which helps us measure how strong and reliable each predictor is. So And coming to the results, the most important finding is that we got form difference. So the form difference meaning which we already know that how much better the team recent form is and compared to their opponent. So that has a big impact in my model. So the p-value is just like about 0.007, which is great. So which means that teams with stronger form are about 2.2 times more likely to win the matches. So other factors like winning the toss, batting first, or batting at home didn't show strong effects once the team was included. So the home toss one, the ratio was about like the p-value is about like 0.05, and the interaction term is home, and the toss one is about 0.08, the p-value. So the home team winning the toss showed a weak negative effect, and when home and toss were combined, there was a small positive effect, but neither was statistically strong. So in short, the recent performance matters far more than the toss or venue. Right. So um so what did we find in this? So in these findings we make a little bit sense, which means a team that has a winning more often recently probably has a better confidence, team balance, and momentum, which naturally increases its chances. On the other hand, the outcome and the toss outcome and home ground advantage seem to balance but out over time. So even though commentators often talk about winning the toss, bat first, the data shows that it doesn't guarantee a victory. So in other words, skill and form beat luck and location. So so from this, what we can understand from the given graph, all the predictors are about 0.04%, and which is near to 5, the significant value, which doesn't really useful for in the model. So only form difference has very much effect. And yeah, so those are the predictors I'm going to consider for the next time. And coming to the next steps, and coming to the next steps, the project is still in the progress phase, which means for the next stage, I plan to include in-game features just to, let's say, like power play performance, wickets lost, and scoring rate to just compare it. I'll also compare this with logistic model with machine learning tools such as random forest or gradient boosting to see if they capture any hidden patterns. So finally, I would like to explore whether venue or season effects, like how Perth behaves differently from Hobart or the Sydney or the Adelaide, so have consistent impacts on match outcome. So these are some of the other predictors I would like to consider for the next time. Um, so to wrap this up, my model shows pre-game practice alone explain only about 2% of the total variation in who wins the BPL match, but the strongest single predictor is form difference. The better a team's recent record, the higher its chance to win. So the toss and home advantage turned out to have a little independent influence, but this shows that in T20 cricket, momentum and team strength matter more than luck. So the data of the study came from cricket.org, and to conclude this, form difference is the most important predictor. So next I will consider the venue and whether to say which one affects the most. So thank you so much for listening, and yeah, thank you.